Hey guys, got the notes here. We're going to talk through it. I already got them filled out in bold red, and so you have your notes with you, or you should. Or you can print them off a blackboard if you don't have them, or you can take these on a piece of paper and fill them in later. Um, so we're talking about relations, and what a relation is. It's a set of ordered pairs. So basically, it's a group of points. Um, but that's what a relation is. It's a set of ordered pairs. And ordered pairs are just your x, y coordinates, their coordinates. So relations, they can be expressed in four different ways. Ordered pairs, a table, mappings, and a graph. You should be pretty familiar with ordered pairs, table, and graph. A mapping we'll talk about here in a second. You'll be able to see it. Okay, example 1. The points are graphed on the graph, and you can see that the first point is at -5, 1. This point is at -3, -2. This one is at -2, -5, 0, 0, 2, 2, 4, 6, 5, -2. So you can see them on the graph. You can see them through a set of ordered pairs. Notice here, you need to fill these in. There's brackets. There's brackets. So you put your ordered pairs, which we just called off, -5, 1. Those are the points. Those are the coordinates. You put your coordinates inside the brackets. So that's how you could represent a relation as a set of ordered pairs. You can represent it as a table, and I just took my points again and put them in a table. Here's -5, 1, -3, -2, -2, -5, and I put them in a table. Here's my x coordinates. Here's my y coordinates. So again, all you had to do was take your coordinates that we got from the graph, put them in a table. And then the last way you can represent a relation is through a mapping, which some of you may have seen something like this before. You will become more familiar with it as we go on. But what a mapping is, you need to put the x coordinates in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. So you can see here, I'm looking at my x values, and the smallest x value is -5. It's the same, and it really just can go down the table. Smallest x value is -5, -3, -2, 0, 2, 4, and the greatest one is 5. So I put those on one side of my map with my x, those are my x coordinates, and on the other side, the y coordinates. Again, do the same thing. Put them in least to greatest, or if you went greatest to least, then go greatest to least. So you got the smallest one, which is -5. Next one, -2, 0, 1, 2, and 6. And now what's going on is you're just mapping your coordinates. So the point -5, 1 that's on the graph, that's in my set, that's in my table, -5 goes to 1. -3, -2, -3 goes to -2. -2, -5, -2 goes to -5. And you can see those relationships. It kind of looks like crazy with all the arrows, but you can see how they are mapped. All right, now, okay, talking about domain and range. So the big things today are relations, which is again just a set of ordered pairs, and domain and range. All right, and this is easy. Once you get it, you got it. You will get this. Domain is it's the set of first coordinates. It's the x's. It's the x's. So it's all these x values right here. Those right there, those are the domain. So how do you represent that? Again, with our brackets, and then you just put in those x coordinates. So -5, -3, -2, 0, 2, 4, and 5. Okay, you put in those x coordinates. And you don't, if there was a coordinate that was in here twice, say we had two -3s right here, -3, -3, which we don't, but if we did, you only have to put in your domain, you just have to put it once. You just have to put all the numbers that are in that x column, that are your x values in that relation. All right? So domain is x. Domain is x. Domain is x. Get the point. Okay. Range is y. range is the y coordinates. So it's a set of second coordinates. It's the y's. All right, so again, I'm looking at this example. The range is the y. Range is y. So it would be, it would be all of those coordinates right there, all those y coordinates. Notice right here that -2 is in here twice. -2 is in here twice. Well, just like in the mapping, you don't have to put it down more than once. So once you have -2, you got it. It's in your range. Again, that's just, the range is just the numbers. It's the set of the y coordinates. It's just the numbers that are in that y column in your table. So you can see you got -5, and again, you need to put these in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. Either way is fine. But you need to make sure you put them in order. I put them in least to greatest. So -5, -2, 0, 1, 2, 6. That's your range. Again, domain X, range Y. Domain X, range Y. You can say it with me. You can have a little song. Domain X, range Y. Yeah, it's good stuff. Okay, next page. A function, and we've seen this before. A function is a relation in which none of the first coordinates repeat. So again, none of the first coordinates repeat. All the x's are different. We've talked about a function before. Again, no x values can repeat. It's got to pass that vertical line test. All right, that's a function. A little review right there. All right, here's some examples, and we're going to tell me if they're a function or not. So in both these examples, what is given to you is the set of ordered pairs. It's the ordered pairs. It's a set of them. So what it says, state the domain and range, then determine whether or not it's a function. Okay, so let's go through. Let's do the domain first. Oh my goodness. Let's do the domain first. So looking at these points, so I got 2, 4, 3, 5, 6, 5, and -1, 3. All I care about are the x coordinates. So, oh, that's too big. The x coordinates. So x, 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 and x. All I care about are those numbers. So I got 2, 3, 6, and -1. Again, make sure you put it in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. The way I like to do it is least to greatest. So the smallest of those numbers is -1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 6. So again, put your brackets and put those numbers in. That's your domain. Again, domain is x. All right, now for your range. Your range is the y. Okay, so your range is your y, so it's your y coordinates. So my y coordinates are 4, 5, 5, and 3. Notice 5 repeats, so I only need to put 5 once. Well, what's my smallest one? 3, so it's going to go 3, 4, 5. Again, 5, you don't have to put it more than once, so 5 just goes in one time right there. Okay, again, domain is your x coordinates, range is your y. All right, now looking at this, is it a function? Well, how do we determine it's a function? All the x's have to be different, so I'm going to look at my domain. That's a star, obviously. I'm going to look at my domain. Do any of those numbers repeat? Are there any repeats? Looking at it. 2, 3, 6, -1. No, they're all different. This is a function. Yes, it is. All right. Example 3. You do the same thing as you did in example 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the domain. Look at all your x coordinates. So x, 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 and x. Those are all my x coordinates. All right, now let's put those in a set. Let's put them in the brackets. So smallest one, -4. The next smallest, -2. And then 1, and 1's repeated, so I only got to put it in there one time. 1's repeated, and then 2. So -4, -2, 1, and 2. All right, again, domain is your x coordinate. Range is your y. Range is your y. So now looking at the y coordinates, you got 9, 5, 6, -3, and 8. I like to put it least to greatest, so I got -3, and then 5, and then 6, and then 8, and then 9. So again, range right there. Fill it in. Put it in your brackets. Put it in your range. Least to greatest or greatest to least. Is it a function? No, it's not a function because which one of these x values repeat? Well, 1, -2, 1. So 1 repeats. So there's 1 and there's 1. That is not a function. Remember, a function cannot have repeating x coordinates. All right, the last example says express relation shown. So it shows us a mapping, state, domain, and range, and then determine it's a function. So the ordered pairs. So I'm looking right here, ordered pairs. I'm going to go through here. I'm going to look at it. The first one I'm going to say is 2, 12. That's one point. That's one coordinate. Then the next one I'm going to say is 2, -3. So I got 2, 12, 2, -3. Okay, 1, 5. 1, 5. 0, 0. 0, 0. -1 goes to 5. -1, 5. -1, 5. Again, ordered pairs, put those in the brackets. Make sure you put those in your brackets. Have brackets there. Open the brackets, close the brackets to finish it. That's the relation. That is the relation. Represented as ordered pairs. Represented as a mapping over here. Represented ordered pairs. Okay, now the domain. Again, domain is x, range is y. Domain x, range y. Domain. So all my x coordinates. It's -1, 0, 1, 2. It's easy. It's right there in your mapping. Clear as day for you. Your range is going to be -3, 0, 5, 12. You don't have to repeat ones. Notice you have 1, 5 and -1, 5. You don't have to repeat. So that's what the mapping nice it shows you. So your range, you can see right there. Now, is that a function? Well, I can tell right now that 2 of these come over here. There's 2 lines from this 2. That means that there's the point 2, 12 and 2, 3. That x is repeating, so this is not a function. All right, I know that was a little bit longer, but these notes are good. We'll talk about these tomorrow and have an activity. Hope you have a great evening.